Hello, I'm here today with Dave and Tony on Humboldt Boulevard in Milwaukee. They have a very special home there. We're here for them to share it with us today.
Hi, I'm Dave.
I'm Tony Ballesteri.
And Dave Jones.
Great, thanks for having us over. You do have a very special home. In fact, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you have in front of the home?
Well, we started out landscaping the front to try to get rid of the grass, and I was the one who did all the bricks and bark chips and made the big platform up there, and then we had to decide what to put in the big area that was up there. And that's when Tony came up with the idea of, he had a Cadillac at his shop, and the inside was not in good condition, so it couldn't be repaired, and so he thought the best thing to do with it would be to cut it in half and plant the back end of the car in the front yard. Of course, I thought he was crazy. You know, I thought, well, what could he possibly be thinking? But after we got it over here and put it in the ground, it seemed like a good thing, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Do you have other cars besides the Cadillac? What is the story behind those?
Oh, it just keeps evolving. There's a 1930 Model A, I believe it was a Roadster originally, that burned up. I found it in a junkyard and said I have to have that. Bought it. And poured 2 quarts or 2 gallons of clear over it so my nephew could play on it. That's what's under the bushes. The Cadillac's front end ended up over here. To the right of the car, it was once where the Model A was. Makes 2 or 3. And the Volkswagen, well, that's the doghouse. The dogs seem to really enjoy it, and the picture takers seem to get a kick out of it.
Dogs? How many dogs do you have?
We have 5 dogs. 5 dogs. Never was the plan, but we have 5 dogs.
That's great. That's wonderful.
It's easy for you to say.
I noticed it looks like you can get the dogs can climb, through the Volkswagen or climb into the Volkswagen? Or?
Yeah, we cut the Volkswagen when we bought it was cut in half, and we thought, well, let's just butt this up to the 6-foot high fence, cut out the fence, and use it sort of like a doggy window type thing, so the dogs can look at the people walking by, bark at them, and it kind of looks like we put a little stool and a little platform in there, so it makes it look like the dogs are kind of driving the car while they're sitting in the windows there barking at people and stuff like that.
It does. It looks like they're driving. That's great. So you're getting some fame, really, around the globe about this home.
We've been involved in a lot of things. We've gotten calls as far as Australia telling us that we're in magazines, that we're out there. We've been in the front page of the Milwaukee Journal. We've been on a couple radio stations, and we're even there's a global type search that is part of the internet. It's an internet search, and you go from place to place, and you log that you've been there, and you get points for how many different places you've been to. And the Model T is actually one of the places that you can go to earn points that you've been here.
Sort of like a treasure hunt.
Correct, and then you sign a book that's in there, and
you've got the book here.
and you put your name on the piece of paper, and it's kind of interesting when you read it that it says who's all been here and who's seen the car and all that kind of stuff, and it's hidden in a place where only they know where to find it.
What is the website address? Do you know it?
No, I don't know what that is. It's a global positioning type game that people can get involved in, and then they fill it out and they put their names and write little notes and stuff like that. And this is just from 6 months, and someone comes and puts a new key fob or key holder in there, and a new pad of paper and a pen usually every 6 months.
Wow.
And it's kind of interesting to see what they write and what they say.
Very interesting. There's a children's book. Tell me about that.
Well, that was another thing where somebody came to me wanting to do a book about Cadillac Eldorados, and even though this isn't an Eldorado, it has the same back end as an Eldorado. So they took the picture and put it in their book with a little story.
Nice.
So yeah, it's in the children's book.
Wow.
I've seen it in Old Cars magazine, which is national.
Right. So now he did some of the digging out. He had the great idea. Now, as you're going through this process, I noticed there's lights on inside the cars. For example, now who was that?
I decided before I put it in, I wanted to have it ready. I wanted the lights working. I wanted everything done. I wanted it painted. They were all freshly painted, although they don't necessarily look it now. But they were freshly painted and all the lights worked, and I had figured out how to make the lights work. before they came here, so when I put them in, it only took a few minutes, and we could plug them in and see what they look like.
Now, Tony, if you were to pick another car, besides the Cadillac, don't say Cadillac, what would it be to put out there?
Well, that $1 million Ferrari that guy smashed recently on TV would be nice. That
Oh,
would
yeah?
be all right.
What did your neighbors say, your immediate next door neighbors and the ones across the street? Did any of them oppose what you have going on? Did any aldermen knock on your, did you get any letters from the city?
We got letters from artists telling us how wonderful it was, and that if we ever had a problem, to let them know they would testify. And we never had any problems from the neighbors. The neighbors were all very nice about it. Really enjoyed it. We've seen our house advertised as the house next to the party. The house with the buried car in the ground, there's a party next door, one door left.
Oh, yeah, I've actually been to a party next door, now that I think about it. We are in River West, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
So, my house is a focal point that they'll get from here, go there.
Or what do your relatives think?
Oh, well, they think we're crazy for one, and it's funny because when people drive by and stop to talk to us, that's one of the first things they say is, we always wondered who lived in that house, Who could have possibly came up with that idea? Who lives in that house?
So what are you gonna do next? Got any new ideas? Put something on the roof
I
of the house?
have a couple front ends cut off and laying there that someday I might do something with.
Where do you do this auto body work, just out of curiosity?
I own Downtown Auto Body
Okay.
on Holton Street in Milwaukee.
So it makes it a little easier for you, then you got access to the
it gives me
equipment and so
access
forth?
to older cars that need to be cut apart.
So now, what are you gonna do with these other stick-up
I
ones?
don't know. They're sitting
I would
there
like to
waiting
get
for
a
that
car.
decision.
Neighbors, maybe you can do the whole street.
Well, there's nothing facing north, so I'd like to get a car with the headlights or taillights facing north, so when you're driving south on Humboldt, then you can see more of the cars, because you get a better view when you're driving north on Humboldt than you
Right.
do when you're driving south. So I'd like to get something that faces north, so it draws their attention when they're coming from that direction.
Now, if you had to, let's say you decided to pack up and head to Florida or what have you, what would you have to do? Would you think you'd have to remove the cars? Do you think it would bring up the value? Do you think you'd have to, sometimes people have to
I don't think it would hurt.
Yeah.
I don't think it would hurt the value, and I think we would definitely leave the cars and the parts where they are for the new owner, so that wherever we started out again, we could start fresh and do something different.
Okay, thanks so much for your time. You guys are a real hoot.
Alrighty.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Okay.